I want to talk directly to my RG&E and NYSEG friends today. And specifically, I want to talk about why people who work or worked with you or at your company end up sitting with us at 6 Point. It's almost never the same reason on the surface, but when we dig into it a little bit further, it almost seems to come back to the same handful of things. And I want to share those with you today because whether you've ever thought about working with a financial planner or not, I think you're going to hear yourself in at least a few of these, okay? At least one, we'll say one. The number one reason people come in to work with us, in no specific order, by the way, but many times people come in because you don't want to miss out on something. And I hear some version of this pretty frequently. Hey, Dave, I think I'm doing okay, but I just want to make sure. And I want to make sure that I'm not leaving something on the table. And that's a really honest thing to say because the truth is the benefits that you have are complex. Tax rules are complex. Retirement income, estate rules, and all the things that come with it are difficult to navigate. And the fear isn't that things are going to go wrong. It's that something good is being missed, right? We don't want to miss out, that FOMO. It might be a strategy you didn't know about, a deadline you didn't catch, a benefit that was not maximized, some sort of tax trap that we want to avoid. And that's a completely reasonable concern. And honestly, in most cases, when we sit down with someone and go through everything, we do find something. And it might not always be something dramatic, but it's almost always something that makes your plan better. Okay? Number two, you want to feel organized and confident. So people come to see us because they want to feel organized and confident. And the second reason is closely related to the first, but I'm going to say it's a little bit different. You are hardworking people. You're organized on the job. You know the systems, your responsibilities. You know what's expected of you. But when it comes to finances, especially as retirement gets closer, a lot of people tell me it feels scattered. Statements in different places, accounts all over the place, investments you haven't looked at in years, and a general sense that everything is probably fine, but you couldn't tell me exactly why it's fine, right? So what you want is to sit down, lay everything out on the table, and walk away with a clear picture and a plan that you can actually understand and something you can point to and say, hey, here's what I have, here's what I'm going to do with it, and here's why. That feeling of organized confidence, that's not a luxury. For a lot of people, it's just the difference between actually enjoying their retirement and spending it worried, which I've run into before. So we want to eliminate that, right? So the number three reason people come in, you don't know where to take money from first. Very important, and it surprises people because on paper, it sounds like a good problem to have, right? You have your pension, you've got a 401k, eventually you have Social Security, maybe some savings on the side, maybe a Roth. Again, those accounts all over the place. Where do you take it from first to minimize taxes in the long run? When do you turn on Social Security? Do you draw down the 401k early or do we let it keep growing? If you need extra cash one month, which account do we go to for that? Most people genuinely don't know the answer to these questions, and it matters because the order you withdraw from your accounts has real tax consequences. Drawing from the wrong account at the wrong time can push you into a higher bracket. It could trigger more Social Security taxes or even affect the Medicare premiums eventually, right? Having a withdrawal strategy, it's not complicated once it's built, but most people have never had anyone build it for them, and that is a big part of what we do. Number four, you don't know how much money you can spend. And this one gets me every time because I'll sit across from someone who has done everything right. Again, you've got the pension, a solid 401k, maybe no debt. And many times folks are afraid to spend money, not because they don't have it, but because nobody's ever told them with a real plan that you can spend money. I've even done videos on permission to spend. I tell people all the time, I constantly am telling clients that we work with, go do the thing, right? What's the money for? Go spend it. As long as we know that obviously things are going to be okay, which we can run in a plan, but there is that fear of just running out, of spending too much too early and not having enough later, or the fear of the market dropping and suddenly everything being different. And without a clear spending number, by the way, and side note here, investment plan, but we'll go back to the spending number, a number that's actually been stress tested People either overspend and worry, or they underspend and miss out on the retirement they worked 35 years to earn. Okay. One of the most meaningful things we do for our clients is give them a number. And this is what your plan supports. This is what you can spend each month and feel good about. For a lot of people, that is genuinely life-changing. Okay. Number 5 here, you're scared of making an irreversible decision and an irreversible mistake. This is one that brings people into us all the time with the most urgency, because there are decisions you make in retirement you simply can't undo. Your pension election, for example. Do we take a payout? Do we take the lump sum? You pick one, and that's it for the rest of your life. How about Social Security claiming age? Once you file, you really can't go back. Or how do you handle that 401k rollover? These are not decisions where you can try something and adjust it if it doesn't work out. The stakes are enormous, and sometimes millions of dollars we're talking about. And these decisions we talk about affect the next 20 to 30 years. So people come to us because they don't want to get these things wrong. They want to understand the options. They want to model out the scenarios, and they want to make the decision that's right for their specific situation, for them, not just the one that sounds right or the one that their coworker chose, okay? And the last one I'll give you guys today is people come in to see us because they don't want to burden the spouse or their kids. And obviously there's this one. That's a big one. The one that people don't always say out loud right away. And a lot of people we work with, they're not just planning for themselves. They're thinking about what happens if something happens to them. What will my spouse do if I'm gone and they've never dealt with any of this? Will they know where everything is? Do they know who to call? Will they be okay? And for many others, it's their kids. They don't want their children to have to sort through a mess. They don't want anyone to have to make hard financial decisions in the middle of grief. Having a plan, a real documented, organized plan, is one of the most generous things you can do for the people you love. It says, hey, look, I took care of this so you don't have to. And that's not just a financial goal, that's a legacy goal, and that matters just as much. So again, I'll wrap it up here. If you've heard yourself in any of these, if one of them makes sense and you think, yeah, that's you, that's exactly what we're here for. So we work specifically with RG&E and NYSEG employees and retirees. We understand the benefits, the company you're at. We understand what retirement planning looks like for you. If you want to have a conversation, reach out. We're here. If this resonated with you, share it with someone that you work with. I know a lot of you are very close with each other. Share it with your friends or somebody that you might think it will help. And we'll wrap there. Thank you again, and make it a great day.
Reach out to 6 Point Financial Partners at 585-485-6048 or email dpulcini at 6pointfp.com.
Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Results will vary. Past performance is no indication of future results or success. Market conditions change continuously. Information here is provided in part by third-party sources. These sources are generally deemed to be reliable. However, neither 6 Point Financial Partners, Private Client Services, nor RFG Advisory guarantee the accuracy of third-party sources. The views expressed here are those of 6 Point Financial Partners. They do not necessarily represent those of Private Client Services, RFG Advisory, their employees, or their clients. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by 6 Point Financial Partners or RFG Advisory, or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives through Private Client Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory LLC, RFG Advisory, or RFG, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services, 6 Point Financial Partners, and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place.